They're tearing it down at Raymond James Stadium, but they had to wait as long as they possibly could because boy, do we have some great racing. It's the Weege Show here. We'll review Monster Energy Supercross from Tampa. We had a last lap battle for the win in the 250 class and a late race Cooper Webb versus Chase Sexton battle that resulted in Cooper Webb getting his first win since 2021. That's exciting stuff. We have 4 points separating the top 3 in the 450 division. That's all great. But I'm gonna go a little bit bigger picture than that and a little bit smaller, where even the last lap action at the races tonight isn't quite enough to encapsulate everything I'm excited about right now. So this is me. I got to work in the TV booth. This is why I'm wearing much nicer clothes than usual. I had to actually spend money on a sport coat. Don't worry, it was on the clearance rack. I haven't changed that much. So this is our TV booth. We were part of a pre and post race show with myself and James Stewart and Daniel Blair, because they make him work every single job here at the Supercross track. Had to get involved with that one as well. This is our booth. This is what we call striking the set, which is just a cooler way of saying tearing it down. There's my guy. There's my guy.
What up?
We were good. We were good. We were good. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Jason, thank you. What's this one?
This one's called Weege Show.
Yeah, I know.
We got Bubba's World podcast here.
Yep.
We got Cole Beach. Cole, what's your last name?
Beach. Yeah, we were filming it behind the scenes today.
Dude, this guy never stops. Like, never stops. Like, you lucky. You people out there watching in TV land, you're freaking lucky.
I appreciate that. Guess,
dude, never stops. He's gaming.
And guess who else is out there working right now? Daniel Blair is doing more.
Yeah,
my gosh.
Like, I don't know. Take advantage of that.
You earned it. You get to relax now. We'll do some more work.
We got a show to record on Monday,
yeah,
so.
One, but
yeah. Take Saturday night.
Yeah, see, I'm done. Like,
yes,
I can't
exactly.
Even like, it's stupid, but nah, thanks.
50 Supercross wins earns the right to quit at 10:45 p.m. You're good.
Yeah,
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, retired life.
Yes.
Retired life. Actually starting up a new career life.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be honest, dude. We didn't really believe it at first, like one podcast, and you're a year and a half in now?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's legit, dude.
I was just saying, I'm surprised that we've been still going this long, but I think it's been everyone's feedback and how he's seen his own progression.
Yeah.
That's helped us keep it going and everything.
And I actually love it. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be different if I was doing it, but I love it, man. Like, I don't know. I get the same.
Like, you
feeling
can't wait till Monday to do the show.
I can't wait. No,
Yeah.
I can't wait. Yeah. So it's different. It's different than anything else. I haven't had this much love for something besides like racing and golf. Straight up. I don't even know if I love my kids this much.
Okay. I'm gonna strike that part.
Cut that out.
Cut that out. Yeah, exactly.
They don't care. They can't watch
Family man. Yeah. Don't watch Weege Show, Stewart family. Our TV booths down here. That's great stuff, huh?
You got those extra.
Clinton Fowler, our stats and data guy. We'll see you. I'm trying to give you knuckles with the knuckles I don't have.
Thanks,
all that
Weege.
stuff. And then the other TV booth is down here. This is where Carmichael and Diffie worked. So we did the pre and post race show. They did the real show. And these guys are probably gone. Yeah. Okay, they're striking that set as well. Get to work, boys.
Lots of fun here.
Yeah, exactly. The behind the scenes. Yep. Somebody's got to do it. So remember I was saying at the top of the show where we've got some bigger picture stuff, some smaller picture stuff to talk about, and then I'll get into the racing. That's what we're gonna do right now. So see you, boys. Okay, so for me to be part of the Supercross television broadcast back in 2005, I was hired by the then owners of Supercross. I think that was Clear Channel, Live Nation at the time, to host the old Supercross audio webcasts. 2005. They didn't have live TV at the time, so they would actually have, you could listen to the races audio on the internet. Back then, it was the only way to know what was going on at the races live. I was like 25 years old. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm already here. 25 years old. First race I announced was the first time Stewart and Carmichael raced each other. Anaheim won, 05. And I'm like, well, this is incredible. This is awesome. If I did this for the next 30 years, I'd be a happy man. But at the same time, I'm only in my 20s. Like, I mean, maybe I'll be moving on up someday. Maybe I'll be part of the Supercross television broadcast. And I don't know. It never happened. 2009, ever since, I've hosted every round except one when my daughter was born. I don't have to cut this part out of the show. I did, when my daughter was born, miss one outdoor race back in 2010. But otherwise, I've announced every single race since 2009. And the Supercross thing, I don't know. I've never appeared in any capacity on a Supercross television broadcast in the 18 years since I first started announcing the audio webcast for Supercross. Until tonight. I mean, that is it. That has been my lifelong goal. You're fooling yourself if you're into dirt bikes, to not think that Supercross is the premier. I love motocross. Of course I do. I love the outdoor nationals and pro motocross. Of course I do. But to be involved in this show, we all know this is the premier. This is Supercross. And for the first time in my life, I can say I was part of the announcing crew. And this all comes about because Supercross and motocross are finally, again, working together. I was on both sides, no problem, back in the mid-2000s. I'm not sure what went sideways there, but it's all back together. And now that's the small picture, just how it affects me personally, and I think we're still going down, and how amazing that is for me to have this opportunity to do this. That is great. But let's get to the bigger picture. Let's look at the position the sport is in right now. So we do a pre and post race show on Peacock. Peacock is so thrilled to have these races. I've heard great things about the numbers. People that are watching on the stream on Peacock are bigger than some of the TV ratings have been in the past when we were only on linear television. That's amazing. We have Ricky Carmichael and James Stewart working together. Look, James Stewart wasn't hiding. We didn't have the great James Stewart. What a great personality, what a great name, what a great reputation, what great information and knowledge this guy has. We didn't have that at all for years. He was completely off the scene. Now we have James Stewart back and wanting to announce and wanting to give his gift of knowledge and experience and personality to all of us. We have Ricky Carmichael doing it. We have them in the booth together. We have Peacock super invested in this game. And then let's think of what's going on the track. We have Hayden Deegan. Hayden Deegan, the YouTube star, has now arrived as a pro, and he's good, like really good. He won his heat race tonight in his second Supercross. He finished 4th in the main again. He's 3rd in points. My arm's getting tired holding all these clothes. We got Hayden Deegan at one point battling it out with Hunter Lawrence. We got the Lawrence brothers. We got the spectacular Lawrence brothers. Oh, riding back. Love it. We got the Lawrence brothers leading the points in both divisions. Hey, Manhart, you're good. It's our television director. We have the Lawrence brothers, great personalities, high flying. We have Deegan here. We have the lovable Max Anstey. It just keeps going. What's up, TV crew? We have Eli Tomac, living legend status, getting analyzed by Carmichael and Stewart on these shows. And we have Chase Sexton. We have the next generation superstar riding very well. And now we have a fired up Cooper Webb. We have 4 points in the top 3 in the series. Look, we've said it a million times on this show. It is our great gift that Eli Tomac has chosen not to retire and keep racing. What if he called it quits 2 years ago? The great gift of now we're seeing Tomac in real time having to be dethroned, or I should say attempted to be dethroned by the like of Sexton, instead of just handing over the crown like many other, and you know who I'm talking about, many other riders did. They just retired when they're on top. Instead, we get to watch these battles, living legend status against the next generation straight up. And now we've got a hungry, fired up Cooper Webb. He was pretty much over it a year ago. Now he's as fired up as ever. We got all these combustible personalities in the mix. Ken Roxon rode pretty well tonight, and you know, I think he's having more fun at the races than he has in a long time. Think of all these personalities, and the Supercross and Motocross side just saying like, let's just put our best practices together. You give us Weigandt. We got Daniel Blair, Stu, Carmichael, Lee Diffie. It's awesome. It's an amazing position for the sport to be in. That's the biggest big picture. Now we'll analyze the race. So of course brought to you by Race Tech and the Gull Valves. You know that. The Gull Valves will give your suspension better bottom resistance, but also more plushness and more traction, and they're made and engineered in the USA. Go to racetech.com for more on the Gull Valves. It's a revalve kit in a box. If you can't have factory suspension, at least get your suspension done at Race Tech. Yeah, so Nate Thrasher leads every single corner of the race, but Hunter Lawrence, an unbelievable comeback. They ram into each other in the last turn. Actually, I shouldn't say that. They rammed into each other in the next to last turn. Hunter somehow slid to the inside. Okay, without contact, and made the pass on the last turn. Thrasher almost came back. 0.134 seconds final margin of victory. Max Anstey up on the podium again. Deegan, as I mentioned, was 4th. Great ride for him. I'm not sure what happened late to Jordan Smith. He fell early. He came back through, and then he ended up 15th somehow, so that's going to hurt him in the championship. And in the 450s, let's tell you what the gift of having Stewart and Carmichael at our disposal is like now. They said something odd in some calls leading up to this race in their analysis. They said not only was Sexton not able to close the deal last week, and bye Will, great job, it's Will Christian. not only did Sexton not being able to close the deal last week on Tomac, a confidence booster for Tomac to say, even if the guy's faster than me, I can still beat him. Stu and Carmichael were theorizing that it helps the other riders too, to know that Sexton has some weaknesses, but damn it all if that wasn't proven. Because you could see as soon as Cooper Webb, who had not ridden well in qualifying, had not ridden well in his heat, got to second early in the main event, he fed off it. He fed off of, I think I can get this guy. I know Sexton's going super fast, but I know I get better late in the race. I know he's made mistakes late in the race, and even when Webb made his own mistake in the whoops, it was never over. And Cooper Webb does Cooper Webb things. He's just so good in the final stages that put pressure on Sexton. The amount of times we've seen Sexton in this position, a race he coulda, shoulda, woulda won and didn't, and he knows it more than anybody. We caught him sitting on a berm with his head in his hands, just distraught. He did the right thing. After our 2-minute commercial break, he came up to the podium for his TV interview and said all the right things, taking all the positives out of it. But he has to be just beside himself. And yes, he's only down 2 points in the standings, but my old broadcast partner, Jeff Emig, always said you take confidence over momentum. And that hurt Sexton's confidence, and man, did it help Cooper Webb. When he gets going and he has that belief of like, I don't care how fast they are, I'm gonna figure out a way to beat these dudes, that is dangerous. And Tomac was just off. We're gonna have to see. We know in the past Tomac has had some weird races. Hasn't really happened much, not really at all, since he's been on the Yamaha. Except last year when it turned out he was actually hurt. I don't know what the problem was, but he was not the same Eli Tomac that we saw at the first couple of rounds. If it only happens one race and he bounces back and it's great next weekend, no cause for alarm. But if this happens 2 in a row, it's at least something to watch, right? Tomac getting 5th and 3rd in the heat, that is surprising. That's our show. Thanks to Race Tech. I'm gonna go hang out with this TV crew that I've waited 18 years to be a part of. I finally got to be part of Supercross TV. If you had told me 3 years ago you'll be doing Supercross television with James Stewart, I would have said, wow, and I thought the COVID pandemic was a surprise. Really? I think this one would have been even less believable, but here we are. Thanks, everybody.